Hello guys, welcome back to Kitchen Adventures with Naomi. I'm your host Naomi right here. Today we are going to be making salsa chicken rice. This is my aunt's mom made this for us one day and I loved it so much I told her I need to have the recipe, so she gave it to me and I've kind of modified it a little bit just to works better for me or what ingredients I happen to have at the time. So this is Mama Shirley's chicken and salsa, or salsa chicken and rice, I guess. It's pretty easy. It makes a decent amount, so like a casserole size. So if you have a bigger family, or if you have, boys that eat a lot, or girls, or if you want to, even if you are just cooking for yourself but want to have some leftovers, this is also really good for that. So it's kind of really simple. There's a few steps, but I mean honestly it's pretty simple, and it's all in one pan, which I like because then it's less cleanup. Don't know about you. Don't have to worry about cooking anything. It's all on the stove, which is nice. In Arizona desert summer, you want as little extra heat as possible. Okay, so today we are going to, oh, I forgot. Here's the ingredients. Okay, so those are the ingredients. This wasn't found on Pinterest, so I don't have a link, but I will put the instructions down in the description in the comments below. So yeah, sorry. If you really want a PDF, just comment and I can get you a PDF version of it. Okay, so what we're gonna do is turn our stove onto medium, put a little bit of oil. These pans that I have, they don't really need oil to, it's a true non-stick, which, oh my gosh, best pans I've ever had. But I'm using oil today simply for seasoning, like the extra taste. I don't have any fresh chicken, so I'm using these boneless skinless chicken breasts. These are just what I had in the freezer, so I'm using everything that I have on hand. So whatever, if you have frozen chicken, fresh chicken, whatever, it's fine. These ones are really big, but that's okay because I'm gonna cook it for a little bit and then I'm just gonna chop it up. So it's fine. When Miss Shirley made it, she had them big. She didn't, that one's frozen. We'll just use these 2 pieces of chicken. She didn't cut them up, so she just had like regular sized chicken. So you put the chicken on the plate and the rice and stuff and then cut them up. For me, when I start making it, I would make it for lunches to reheat throughout the week. And so it's just a lot easier for me and my plans to chop it up while I'm cooking, because then I don't have to worry about, like, when you're at work, you don't always have a knife to cut it with, and it's easier to reheat if it's already all cut up. So you don't have to cut up the chicken. I do. So that's what we're gonna do today. So let me go wash the germies off my hands. Okay, so the recipe calls for 3 large chicken breasts. These are 2, and I'm gonna chop them up, so I'm not worried about it. So then we are going to take some garlic powder and just sprinkle it on there, and some cumin. So her recipe calls for half a teaspoon of garlic, half a teaspoon of chili powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of cumin, salt and pepper. You know me, if you watch any of my videos, you know I don't usually really measure, especially seasonings. It's just more fun that way. Like, live a little bit, okay? Let's just all just live a little bit. So then I got garlic, cumin, and then some paprika, which I need to get some more of. We're just gonna sprinkle some. It's gonna be good. And then some salt and pepper. Okay, and I also like to use, I use this on practically everything, Bragg's liquid aminos. If y'all have never tried this, you gotta try it. It's amazing. I put it on chicken, on vegetables, on steaks. I mean, I'm just gonna drizzle a little bit. That's all I have left. Rinse that out to recycle. Okay, so what we're gonna do is just cook these a little bit until they're not frozen or not fully frozen enough so I can cut them up into cubes, throw it back on there, cook them a little bit longer. But I will show you the process as we go. I will pause it right now so that you don't have to sit and wait for this to heat up and cook. So, you're welcome. Okay, so I've got this chicken cooking. It's probably not completely done because it's so thick, but that's okay because I'm gonna chop it up and throw it back on here for a little bit longer. So all we're gonna do is just take it need a fork and collar and just kind of slice it. So you can see it's very obviously not done yet, but that's okay. So I just kind of cut it into just bite-sized pieces. That way, one, you feel like you get more chicken. But two, like I said, it's a lot easier to reheat because then it can the heat can more easily distribute throughout the Tupperware, however you reheat it, cook back on the stove, whatever. So just like that, just slice it up. I'm going to pause the video, finish cutting this all up, throw it back on here, and when it's finally done, I mean, it's taken so far like maybe 5 minutes because they are thicker and they were frozen. So, so I'm gonna finish cutting this up, throw it back on there, and when it's done, I'll let y'all back. Okay, so the chicken is now officially all cooked. So I'm just gonna put it in this bowl right here. I'm just gonna set it aside for a few moments. Okay. Then we're gonna take the same exact pan and add, it says to add the other tablespoon of olive oil. I'm not gonna, it's already got stuff in here. I'm gonna add a tablespoon of butter because this tastes best with a little bit of butter. Not gonna lie, some things gotta have some butter. So I put a tablespoon of butter, and then we are going to, so the cost for rice, I use jasmine rice just because the first time I made it, that's what I had in my pantry. So we're adding 3, I'm doubling the recipe by the way. So I'm adding 3 cups of rice. because it's supposed to be 1.5 cups of rice. So for me, I'm doubling it because it just makes more leftovers. Okay. So I still have it on that medium heat that we had before. And you're just gonna wanna lightly toast the rice. So it'll get a little bit brown. There will be some pieces that are still white, some pieces that are darker brown. That's fine. It's fine. You wanna make sure you mix in as best you can the butter and the oil and the flavors from the chicken that you cooked in here. Mix that all up with the rice. And then want to kind of spread it out a little bit. I mean, it's not all gonna fit because it's a lot of rice and there's more rice than there is room in the pan, which is fine. But you want to kind of spread it out because if it's all just in like one clump, then guess what? Only one part is gonna get cooked. So spread it out best you can. And then just let it set for a few minutes. Y'all can't really hear it, I'm sure, but it's kind of starting to sizzle. So it'll be sizzling for, I don't know, just until it's toasted, 3, 4, maybe 5 minutes. So I'm gonna let this cook. And then once it starts browning, we'll be back. So it's been about 5, maybe 6 minutes. I don't know if you can see, but there's a little bit of toasty brown in the rice. Okay, so then what you're gonna wanna do is add the broth. So we need, so you'll be putting in 1 3/4 cup of chicken broth. I'm gonna put in more than that. Yep, I'm just gonna put the rest of it. Okay. I'm gonna put in that. Might be a little much, but it's fine. Okay, so the seasoning, so we're gonna add a little bit more garlic. So it calls for a teaspoon of garlic and a teaspoon of cumin, but how I roll. Just throw it in there. Okay. So I'm gonna kind of mix that. Okay. Then you add, so you're supposed to have a lime. So you get squeeze the lime juice from the lime. Y'all, I don't have lime. So we're using lime juice because I do have that. So I'm gonna put in a little bit of this. I had a big lime, so that's what we're getting. Okay, so then we're gonna add salsa, which y'all are gonna put in 1 cup of, gotta knock on the back door, maybe it'll open. He was out back. Okay, so then you're gonna pour in, yeah, that looks good. So y'all will put in 1 cup of salsa. I'm putting in a little bit more because I'm doubling the recipe. So, okay, so then you put in the salsa, and it calls for pinto beans, but we prefer black beans. So y'all will put in 1 can. I'm putting in 2. I've already drained these and kind of sort of rinsed them out a little bit. Set those aside to rinse and recycle. Mix that in there. Ooh, I wish that was a scratch and sniff because boy, but it smells good. Okay. So it says bring to a boil. So we're not gonna watch it because a watch pot never boils. But it's pretty warm. It's already starting to bubble. So once it starts boiling, then you're just gonna take your chicken, and if you have the whole breast, if you didn't chop it up, you would just lay them right on top. Since I did chop mine up, I'm just gonna kind of sprinkle it on top. Yeah, again, you can either leave it whole or you can chop it up. For me, I like chopping it. That's tasty. It's gonna be a good supper, y'all. Okay. I'm very impatient. I'm gonna pause you, get some water, and hopefully by then this will be boiling. It's starting to boil. But I wanted to show you something. I don't know who helps you in the kitchen. She's my little helper. Always got to hang out with me. And no, she doesn't do it for the food because that's not the one. My other one, yes. Okay, so it's starting to boil. So I'm just gonna kind of. My rice has a habit of burning and on the bottom when I don't stir it. I know you're not supposed to stir rice, but I don't know what I'm supposed to do. So then I just kind of stir the chicken in. Look at all that yumminess. Oh my goodness, it smells so good. Yes. Okay, so now that that's in there, then you cover it. Okay, and simmer, yes. And then you simmer for about 20 minutes. We just want to make sure the rice is soft because, I mean, I've made it before and didn't cook it long enough, and the rice is kind of crunchy, and some of the rice is a little toasty on one side on the bottom. So I'm gonna cook it for 23 minutes because, yeah, I want to make sure my rice is done. And I will be honest, I've definitely had some mishaps, but it's always been good. It's always been edible, so that's the main thing, right? Okay, so I will probably stir it at least once throughout all of this, because like I said, I know you're not supposed to stir rice when it's cooking, but I find that if I don't, the bottom layer starts getting a little browned when it's not necessarily supposed to. That's me, my experience. Y'all don't have to do that. But we're gonna let this cook for 23 minutes and then I'll be back. And we're back. Okay, so it's been cooking for about 25 minutes. Ooh. Okay, so it looks all lovely. So then you're gonna take about 1.5 cups of cheddar cheese, Colby. I'm using this Mexican style blend from Costco. It's really have and it's really good. So you're just gonna want to kind of sprinkle it all on top. And make sure you get a good layer, because I mean, who doesn't like cheese? I know it's not very good for you, but it's good for your soul. Okay, it's good for your soul. All right, so then once you got it all, I've turned off my stove, so I'm just gonna let it sit, let the cheese melt, and while it does that, I'm gonna go prepare my plate. I don't like tomatoes, so I'm not cutting up any tomatoes for me, but I put lettuce, a bit of lettuce on a plate. Not a whole lot, not like you want to make a salad, but like enough so you got some on there. And you use the lettuce, top with some of this, a little bit more salsa. I use Greek yogurt instead of sour cream, just just because I like it better. I feel like it's a little bit healthier. So I use a little bit of Greek yogurt on top. You mix it all in. So good. Okay, so I'm gonna go prepare my plate. While this is melting, wash the lettuce, chop it all up, all that kind of stuff. Multitask, you know, multitask. All right, so it's mostly melted. So I've got my little plate of lettuce. See, it's not a whole lot, but it's enough so you can feel good about eating the cheese. Just kidding. So then you just take some, cut through that stringy, yummy cheese. Just plop it right on here. Add a little bit of yogurt, salsa, whatever you want. And enjoy. See? All right, guys. Well, that's Miss Shirley's salsa. Well, my modified version of Miss Shirley's salsa chicken and rice. I hope you guys enjoy it. Have a good day. Be sure to like and subscribe. Don't want to miss out on any more fun adventures, whether they're amazing or they kind of flop. I post them, so I'm very real. This is who I am, so you don't want to miss out. I will see you next time. Bye, guys.